Sac passe. Right. So today we're gonna do a video about creating a student profile. We're gonna put the student user, their name, right? We're gonna take their age, their GPA, and whether or not they are currently enrolled in school. Right. So we're gonna add that in our coding today. Only thing that we're also going to be doing is also using user input and then included so that we can find a film of like math results, right? And we're gonna use remainders, product, sum, differences, just so we can see the output. And this is a very exciting video, so let's get to it. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna add the arrow string. And we're gonna include arrow string. We'll also include manip. And we're gonna put username space the std. As you guys remember from the previous video, std helps you remove std with 2 points. And then we're also gonna include the int main. Okay. We're gonna create a string for name. I just put my name, Tony. Okay. We're gonna create an integer called age. And then let's say your age is 28. Okay. We're also gonna create a float for GPA. Okay, the float is a number that has a decimal. So we're gonna put 3.25 for the GPA. Remember, this is like me creating like a student profile. Okay. We're gonna create a chart. Let's call it grade. I see there's like an error message right here. I think I might be missing a semicolon from the line 10. Okay. Let's put equal to A. We're gonna put the grade for A. I don't know. Okay. Okay, as you can tell, I'm running to see what the error message is. Why is it not working? All right. Just double checking. Okay, we're gonna create a boolean. Okay. I'm gonna say his student. I'm gonna put the boolean variable as true. All right, that means like I am a student, which is true. Okay, we're gonna see out all the variables, starting with name, just so we can have it in the output. Okay, I'm gonna say student. This is gonna say like I'm just kind of creating the section so that you can see it. I'm gonna say student profile. Okay, and then we're gonna end it. So my column, always put the left arrows and put your NDL and L. Okay. Try to make it look good. I'm gonna put I call it a dash in English. Put the dash just so like you can have student when you put it as a CL, you're gonna see student, and then below it you're gonna see like a line. Okay. Two left arrows and L. As you guys can see, this is like line 15, so make sure like it's looking good. Okay. So we're gonna see out once again, we're gonna see out the name. In this situation, we're gonna call the variable name, which is on line 8. All right. So line 8 is gonna call Tony. Okay. We're gonna see out name. What I like to do is I like to put a little space between the C out of the name and then calling the variable name. Right. So you're gonna see like when you put it, you're gonna see name, 2 point, and then there's like a little space. Okay. And we're gonna do the same for all the other variables because we want to call the student profile. Okay. We're also gonna call age. Okay. This is an integer, so that's a number. Okay. And then we're gonna call it char. Char is kind of like a string, right? But char only hold like one variable, so it could be like one letter. It could be A. It could be all letters in the alphabet. You know, that's most likely for char, but it's like one letter. Okay. A string we call like Tony, for instance, is multiple letters, Tony, right? And you can put your own name, your GPA or grade. Okay. Once again, I'm gonna put a fixed for the GPA. I'm setting a precision because the precision allows me, which is also from the include IO manip. It allows me to set like my number to like two decimals, or instead of having like 3 point, I don't know, 25 6, it will be like 3.25 or 3.26, right? So it's better to have it like that. So instead of having like three more variables, more numbers after. Okay, so that's why I set the precision to 2, so that it could be like 3 point and then 2 other numbers. Okay, in this situation, I'm gonna also see out the enrolled. Okay, and this is just to like give people know that hey, there's a student here. Okay, I'm not enrolled in the class. As remember, there's a Boolean statement here saying, hey, this person has been enrolled in the class, or this person is a student. Okay, so that's why it's very important to have like a student profile. So here I'm just calling it. Okay, this is like if statement. If yes, say yes. If no, say no. Okay. Um, yeah. We're gonna put the 2 arrows and N L. Okay. On line 21, what I'm trying to do here, I am going to create. I'm gonna skip a few lines. So the dash.n help you skip. Okay. So now we're gonna input the user's input. Okay, we're gonna take the user's input, and dash n is the same as end l. Okay, remember that. So you can use it instead of using. You see me using like from line 14 to line 19. I'm using the nl with dash n. You can skip a line. Okay, those are very important things, and you can do it from before, or you can also skip a line from after. Okay, in the situation I'm doing that dash n, was it left, I don't know how you call it in English, and then you're gonna see it, and I'm gonna put n again to kind of skip the line. Okay, it's doing the same function as an nl, and what allows you to skip it. Okay. Now let's continue. That's why when you see it in the output, you're not gonna see the n. Okay, you're not gonna see it because it's doing a function here. Okay, let's get the user's input. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put integer. I'm gonna call 2 numbers. Okay. Number 1 and number 2. All right. Remember the previous video I made about calculator. So we're gonna take a user's input and we're gonna say, hey, enter, I don't know, number 1. All right, the first number. Or so we're gonna see out enter first number. We're gonna take the user's input. If you guys remember, we're gonna put sin, sin, okay, and then we're gonna put 2 arrows going to the right for number 1. What I'm doing here, I'm copying and pasting it. So I'm gonna copy enter first number, all right, and then I'm just gonna like edit it a little bit. All right, second number. Okay, we're gonna call the variable number 2. Okay, this is an integer, so it's gonna take a number. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna put a sum. Okay, sum is addition, so we're gonna add those two, and we're gonna say int sum equal to number 1 plus number 2, and we're gonna keep doing this for each thing. All right, so we're gonna put the difference. So a difference between a number is a minus. So we're gonna say int difference is number 1 minus number 2. All right, so this is kind of like putting it forward. Okay, so we're gonna be like number 1 minus number 2. Okay. So we're taking the user's information and then we can do this. All right. We can do the calculations. All right. So we're gonna put the product, obviously is gonna be end product equal to number 1 multiplied by number 2. Always remember your semicolons. I keep like it's something that always bothers me with C++. Always remember your semicolons. Okay. We're gonna continue. We're also gonna call it float. Float, as I said, it's a variable that takes like a decimal. All right, so it's a number that you can put like it takes decimals and things like that. Okay, so we're gonna call it quotient. Okay, float quotient for division. Okay, we're gonna put static cast. Let's put maybe the float. All right, we're gonna keep the float static. All right, so there's not much to it. So that there's like no big issues with the code because we want to keep this information static. Okay. All right. And we're going to divide it, number 1 divided by number 2. I'm also going to put a remainder. All right. Just so you can see what it is. And remainder. And at remainder, I put number 1, remainder like number 2. Okay. So now we're gonna try to put out the output. Okay. We're gonna display the output. So I'm trying to like put it as a comment here, just so you could know arithmetic results and things like that. Okay. So we're gonna see out all very, very similar to how we did it before when it comes to like, hey, we're gonna see out the variables, right? So we're gonna see them out. But you have to understand this code is going from above to below, right? So it's going from line, let's say 9, 8 going down. Therefore, like all the code that is running right now is gonna be, you're gonna say, hey, I print out the first thing. I'm gonna print out the student thing. Okay. So right here, I just printed out all of it, all of the results, all of the displays. You can do this by yourself if you want to play around with it yourself. Okay. So I put number 1 plus number 2 sum end, right? Because I'm already taking that information from the user. Okay, which is going to be you in this case. And this goes for all of them. All right. I also set the precision for the quotient to 2. Remember, 2, just so we don't have any error messages. So how you seeing it is like student profile name 2028, GPA 2.25, as you see already previously. Okay. If the thing is true, then it's yes. If the boolean is true, it's going to be yes. If not, then it's going to be no. Okay. So here I put to information 24. The first number, and then enter second number is going to be 2. Okay, so you're going to see the multiplication and division. Play around with this code, okay, just so you can have an idea of what's actually going on. All right. The one of the errors that I ran into is with this one for line 26. That's a configuration error because I put it for the end remainder with a set precision for it. Okay. Okay. All right. As you can see, everything is running. The code should be running smoothly. So what I advise you to do, maybe a few homework, just play around with the code, put your own name in it, put your own GPA if you have a GPA, play around with it, right? That's how you learn how to code. You got to play around with it.